Forests are so much more than a collection of trees. They're home to 80% of the world's terrestrial biodiversity. These ecosystems are complex webs of organisms that include plants, animals, fungi, and bacteria. Forests take many forms, depending on their latitude, local soil, rainfall, and prevailing temperatures. Unfortunately for these major habitats, deforestation has been in full effect for what is now centuries. Deforestation is clearing Earth's forests on a massive scale, often resulting in damage to the quality of the land. Forests still cover about 30% of the world's land area, but swaths half the size of England are lost each year. Every year, deforestation reduces forest cover significantly. Scientists at the University of Michigan estimate that half of the Earth's forest ecosystems have been already destroyed. More than 50% of the world's forests are located in the tropics, with the rest in the temperate and boreal zones. Brazil has the highest rate of deforestation, with more than 3 million hectares of forest cut down annually. Well, I'm sure many of you are wondering, 3 million hectares is equivalent to just over 11,500 square miles. Trees absorb carbon dioxide and convert it to glucose during photosynthesis. Forests are major carbon storage centers, but deforestation releases all the stored carbon back into the atmosphere. This has serious global consequences because carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas that traps heat in the atmosphere and contributes to climate change. Global warming already has had significant effects on sea levels, sea ice, and weather patterns. Several species, such as polar bears, have been displaced by habitat changes that result from climate change. When sea ice melts, the bears are unable to hunt and often starve. Deforestation not only contributes to changes in the climate, it also causes localized changes in the weather. Trees transpire or release water into the atmosphere during photosynthesis. This water replenishes clouds and maintains rainfall. Without the transpiration of trees, deforested areas become drier. Changes in weather and shelter cause deforested areas to undergo a tremendous loss of biodiversity, which has global consequences when forests harbor unique species. Scientists have not yet tested even 1% of the plants in the tropical rainforest for medicinal use, but they regularly discover species useful to people. However, some of these forests and their potential benefits may disappear by the end of the 21st century. Deforestation is a threat to the human food supply in several ways. Climate change influenced by deforestation alters growing conditions for several food crops. Forests themselves are an important food source for more than 1 billion people in developing countries. In addition, when trees are cut down, their roots rot and fail to hold nutrient-rich topsoil in place. Good topsoil is essential to the productive growth of food crops. When the food supply is threatened, food prices increase and more people struggle to feed their families. Depending on which estimates you believe, the amount of forest the Amazon has lost in the last 30 to 40 years is about 20% of its levels before that time. In the country of Brazil alone, which has some of the most detailed deforestation data, this equates to roughly 300,000 square miles, which is larger than the total area of the state of Texas. To put this another way, in the last 4 decades, people have cut down a larger chunk of the Amazon rainforest than in the previous 450 years combined. Here's a look at how much of the Amazon has been cut down. As you can see, the darker areas in red represent complete annihilation of the Amazon. So why is so much of the rainforest being lost every single year? If only there were one reason, it would be a bit easier to stop. The fact of the matter is there are lots of causes for this deforestation. One of the biggest culprits is cattle ranching, which accounts for about 70% of the deforestation the Amazon experiences every year, as ranchers clear the jungle for their cattle. Illegal poaching of wood is another reason for the destruction. Some areas are cleared of wood for reasons that have nothing to do with the harvesting of trees. Another culprit is gold. Massive areas of the rainforest are simply destroyed while people look for extremely small quantities of gold. Because there is so little gold in the rainforest, huge sections of land must be completely upended in order to accumulate just a little bit of what may eventually become jewelry. Other reasons for deforestation include searching for oil, as well as the construction of roads and ever expanding cities. It's clear that trees and forests are an essential part of life, so why wait to stop deforestation until it's too late? Something must be done to stop the unsustainable clearing of forests, and it must begin in Brazil. Money is a huge factor in this industry and is frankly the only thing that initiates such behavior. If we're going to stop deforestation, we need governments to do their part. That starts with cracking down on corruption and ensuring fair enforcement of forest conservation rules. Corruption fuels illegal logging and unsustainable forest management, which in turn can fuel organized crime or even armed conflict. Beyond the rule of law, we need world leaders to embrace ambitious domestic and international forest conservation policies based on the latest science. In the United States, laws like the Endangered Species Act, the Wilderness Act, the Lacey Act, and the Roadless Rule help protect our forests and stop illegal wood products from entering the U.S. marketplace. We also use regional rules like the Amazon Soy Moratorium and global treaties like the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species to protect forests and the endangered species that rely on forest habitats. Globally, we need commitments to reduce greenhouse gas emissions from deforestation in developing nations, especially those with tropical forests. Again, the only way to begin the halting of deforestation is for governments to acknowledge this socially irresponsible behavior. Thank you.